So you'll see the top of this list is this pure mischief. Now, before we watch this video, right? All right, don't worry about the emoji. Don't worry about the emoji. Listen, before we watch this video, I'm not doing this on Mad YouTube main channel. Oh, let's make a big thing of it. I might not even upload this as a video. I don't know. I'm unsure. I don't want you to be mean to pure mischief, right? This is the ground rules here. Nobody is to be, like, it's easy to start, and then someone said this, and then they're saying it about you, and then, you know, everyone's saying it about each other. There is no way that we're going to help pure mischief by being mean to her, okay? So no comments about her look, about her style, about her edit, about anything. Like, no comments about that. Not acceptable from my end. I'm not going to be making them. I'm not encouraging you to do that. Yeah? We all got that. In lots of ways, pure mischief could be just like us, could be one of our crew. In my opinion, because I have quickly watched this video, in my opinion, she seems to have got deluded about one small point. But I can understand her critique of me, okay? So we'll watch the critique first, and it's really difficult because my aim here, I suppose I will put this on YouTube. I will be putting this on YouTube. My aim here is to, in some way, enlighten, and I don't want to say, the problem is here, I look like I'm condescending. So pure mischief has got to hear this with a pinch of salt. You know, I want her to learn from me. Yeah, well, that's going to be condescending, isn't it? You know, she's going to hate being told by Scotty Hottie what to think. So that's not going to help. It's not going to work. So I don't want her to learn from me. I just want her to, like, wake up to the reality that is staring her in the face, but she seems to deny it. I think she's in denial. Now, as we've seen recently, and we'll probably do more talking about denial in the future, denial is not something that you can be slapped out of. Like, you know, I can't sort of show her the evidence and prove it to her in an argument because she's in denial. So it's really difficult to reason, and I don't know the correct answers and how to, but I'll watch the video and I'll reply to it. But my very careful and cautious message to the community is that this is someone we should be welcoming. You know, this is someone that could be with, like, there but for the grace of God go I, is a phrase that a lot of the time I ruminate on when it comes to other people and situations. And with this, it's like, I feel like it's almost like we're looking through a strange, to coin a phrase from Charlie Brooker, Black Mirror, where we're seeing the reality of what we're like in someone else who's a bit different but very similar. Like, there's something so, like, strange to me about this. Like, she doesn't seem to be someone who I would naturally be in opposition with. Let's say it like that. But I don't want her to get the idea that I think, oh, well, hang on, maybe I'm coming around to her way of thinking and she's right. That's not what's happening here. She's not right. She's not entirely filled in on all the facts. And she is giving her opinion, and it is an interesting perspective, and I do understand. So before we get deeper into that, I'll clearly say this. To some people, they stumble across me and my work on the internet as battery exhausted. I mean, you're watching this on Twitch right now, so you're not stumbling into this in this way here, but you stumble into battery exhausted, and you go and look at battery exhausted, and it looks like Alan Vinnicum's a fucking paedophile is on the menu, and that's all that's on the menu, because we do a lot of talking about Alan, don't we? The live streams, because that's where I put all of my Alan content, the live stream section here is pretty much dominated by Alan over the last few months. I'll agree. And the videos there, pretty much dominated by Alan over the last few months, but like the last two have been about other people. We have all talked about a number of times about how we're going to have to filter in other people, and we're not always talking about Alan. We're talking about other things as well. And you see, the interesting thing here is that's the modern uploads, the last few months. But if you go and look at the oldest on Battery Exhausted, you'll find that it's not Alan, and it starts 9 years ago. And Alan only crops up sort of a few months ago in my timeline in my life, and the rest of it I'm not talking about Alan or doing anything about Alan. I have I didn't even know anything of the guy until a few months ago. So I've got loads of other content on that channel specifically that's not Alan based. All my music, this was my scrapbook channel, Battery Exhausted scrapbook channel, so there's loads of stuff here that's not Alan. Just click oldest and go and look at it. Yeah. And then you'll also note that I've got these other channels like Super Chuffer. So I will agree that at the end of the Nicola Bully stuff, we were doing that live stream content about Nicola Bully. At the end of that, I took a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a break, focused on Alan a bit more, and we've got plans to come back and make other stories. Now, I'm going to continue making body language content. I'm going to continue making content in this field, but I've never been a true crime channel, never claimed to be, so I'm happy with what we're doing there. Steve's having a back operation. We're looking at next year. I need to maintain this channel, and some people might say focus on it, but that's choices, and I've got all this. And again, if you look at this, it's years worth of work now, and none of it's about Alan at all on Super Chuffer. So out of my multiple channels, and if you want to start off where I started, and this is really specifically for, I'm saying this now specifically for Pure Mischief. Pure Mischief, really I would appreciate it if you go and look at my mental health channel and the True Binaural ASMR channel as well, because this one is where I started on YouTube, and this was 2014. So YouTube isn't the rest of my life. I've done loads of other stuff. I've been a champion fencer. I've won international competitions at sword fighting when I was at school. I did university. I was a DJ. I learned to be a hairdresser. I've been a roof tiler. I mean, I ran my own business as a hairdresser. So I've lived a varied and full life. And Alan is only like a tiny little pip that's just happened recently as part of one facet of my YouTube content, which is one avenue of my media production, which includes music and radio, and not radio like music radio, but I did 4 episodes of a sort of podcast radio show with a project with some ASMR artists. Coming back to the brand of the ASMR, these videos here that help you sleep, that help people with their mental health, that help people in loads of different ways, are much more calm, loving and relaxed in the main. I mean, there are the occasional hip-hop diss track, but my depression confession, visits to art galleries, stuff like that, this is all a much, much different side to my personality, which is why I put it on its own channel where you can keep that all in one place. So it would be fair to judge me. If you're going to judge me and talk about my legacy or my catalogue of work or anything like that, it would be fair to go and look through it and experience it before you judge me on what is simply the latest story on the ever-turning pages of a content, an ever-creating, ever-creative, ever-changing content flow. So that's my bit at the over the top, over the front of this, because I know what I'm about to be accused of here. So I think let's be really clear then. Right, let's be really clear. I don't need to defend myself on the internet against people. I don't necessarily have to care. But the only reason I would say this is because for this particular person, I think if they saw more of the, I'm going to put in inverted commas here, the truth, because truth is subjective, but their truth seems to be quite off from what I perceive to be the truth. And so I've given them now an avenue to do some more investigation and to consider who I really am before they judge me, because I hope that someone like this, maybe not this exact person, but people like this, these are the exact people that I'm hoping will wake up from whatever it is that's attaching them to Alan and realise that Alan is not a good man. He's a horrible, sinister man. And oh, you're saying this, Scotty. Okay, don't listen to me. Listen to the community. Listen to everyone else. Listen to somebody else. I don't think me versus her is going to work as a row so that I can convince her of my opinion. That's not what I'm trying to do here. So I don't find it easy for him to do this, but I do hope that people like this, this is not my enemy. Alan is my enemy. This is somebody that supports Alan and perpetuates his bollocks and is naive, I think. I would say in denial. I don't want to be rude to them. I want to try and help them, have open arms and love. So if I come from a position of fuck you, then it's not going to work, is it? At the same token, this is my first impressions of this person and I don't know them. And I'm the sort of person that will give you that benefit of that doubt and be loving and kind to you until you fuck me over. And some of you in chat might say, no, Scott, this one seems like a nutter or a chuffer and it's bad. So, I will listen to you because sometimes your opinions are different to mine. But at the same time, I'm telling you before we start, no personal attacks. No, I don't like your hair, you're a chuffer. None of that. I mean, I'm not saying you would. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying you would. You're nice people in my chat, but I don't want this to be a personal vendetta problem. This is more about a discussion of how people feel in the wider world about Alan, about me, I guess, but and how we as a community are attempting to change people's minds. I mean, I do what I do. Val does what she does. Lizzie does what she does. genetic toad does what she does. But like all the people are there because the common goal is they don't like Alan, yeah. But what my common goal is that I hope that Alan will be like the things that support the people that support Alan with money and adoration. That's how he gets his resource. That's how he fuels himself. So if I'm to take on Alan, I need to take on this source of resource, this source of fuel. And if it was a war, sorry, doggy, you're right, boy. I just dropped my little Chufferman and I can't find it now. If it was a war, I would be taking on his supply routes. You know, I've literally, oh there it is, okay. I've literally just, mate, I dropped it. Yeah, I'd be taking on his supply routes. This is his supply routes. This is his funny, oh boy. This is his money. This is his praise. This is his narcissistic supply route. So I've done a really big introduction. And, you know, you can see why, because I actually do. I mean, you don't. You can see that I care, like, but you know, I care. I mean, I can say it. She might not believe it. That's the problem. It's going to be really difficult for these reasons. All right, dog. So I want to have a crack at this. Let me just quickly get her picture up better so you can see her better. You know, I want to have a try at dealing with this conversation. And you might get a different first impression to me and you might have different appealing feelings. We are allowed, I will allow you 100% to talk about your feelings and thoughts. But please, like I said, let's not try and make it personal, ad hominem. Oh, I don't like her hat. You know, she's not wearing a hat. I used an example of something that, you know, is random. Because we can all fall victim to that. And that's just like bullying. And we're not, at no point was I here to bully Alan. Like, we all know that I went to Alan very above board and very publicly and said, hey, mate, I could see you've used that video. You probably didn't realise that it wasn't for you to use and upload and steal. Can you just take it down and everything will be all right? By the way, can you give the money to charity? And it was him that came back with, fuck you. Fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. Who are you? You know, it's him that came back with the attitude. I went with love, first of all, and I went with the idea that we could work this out together and he doesn't have to have a problem. I could have sent him a copyright strike. No, you couldn't. It was Channel 5. Yes, I could. I edited it. I put it up on the internet. I could have, I might not have been right to, but I could have issued a copyright strike. And at no point did I suggest to do that. I said, just take the video down, we won't have to get that far. I didn't want to cause another creator any problems because I didn't know who he was. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt like I am with this lady. So maybe I'm wrong to do that sometimes, you know. But we all know the truth on that. That was public record, but she doesn't seem to. Should we get into it?
Right, I'm going to make a serious, quick little video. Hardly use YouTube for my music or anything. I've only got a few subscribers. But I'm going to start posting this video in various sites on the World Wide Web.
If you want me to listen to it, please do put it on YouTube because I'm not going to be going to TikTok to watch everyone else's TikToks. Well, obviously, we follow Alan there, but I won't be... You know, if you want me to hear it, and it's for me, and it is because you've put hashtag battery exhausted in it and message to battery exhausted. So fair enough, you know, if you want me to hear it, put it on YouTube, agreed.
It's only one that I've ever noticed.
Hang on just a sec, the background music's a bit loud for me. I'm just going to turn it down a bit. Quiet, there we go, okay.
Like this in the true crime community. I haven't met anybody quite like this.
All right, you're mistaken already as well. I mean, I don't want to, listen, what I really don't want to do is make it a petty back and forth, but I'm not in the true crime community. I'm just on YouTube. If I'm in communities, I would be ASMR community, but I'm not really in that. I mean, I make ASMR, I had made ASMR, I made a documentary about ASMR, but I'm not really in it. And then the detractor community I talk to far more. I mean, they're my friends. I talk to them. Like, being in a community involves some sort of extra engagement. Just making true crime videos doesn't put you in the true crime community. It's a funny word that's a marketing term by YouTube. I mean, we've got a community. We've got people that are in it. We've got a Discord. There are communities. But I also think that it's a cover-all term for just, we make true crime videos or we make videos about slime. We are the slime community. And that makes a marketing thing happen where you feel that you're part of a thing and it's you and it's your group. And in reality, you're just sat at home just doing a video. So I find community to be a strange word because I've never claimed to be part of the true crime community. I've never claimed to be solving any crimes or anything like that. I've made my body language analysis videos based on people's interviews, and I've done some other analysis of, you know, facts of a particular case that we were looking at because of the body language interviews. So I think she's a little bit confused about me and my position on the internet. Again, I don't blame her. She doesn't have to know that, like, you know, I've been making music all my life and you know, she doesn't have to know about me in a band.
The introduction. You're my engine and my battery. I don't feel good, you're unhappy.
No, she doesn't have to know anything about me, but it all exists if you want to go out and look for it. So it's funny because I'm being judged now as a member of the true crime community that's just come along in the true crime community, and that's not who I am, but yeah.
I actually thought he was quite an interesting guy.
Thanks.
Battery exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's not who I am. That's my B-side channel, Battery Exhausted, on YouTube. It's a bit like saying, like, Philip Schofield, you know. Oh, sorry, Philip Schofield. Terrible example because he's a massive nonce. It's a bit like saying David Attenborough, you know, BBC One. Well, that's the channel he's on. Like, Battery Exhausted's a media channel on YouTube. It's a page on YouTube. I am Scott, and I produce many different pieces of media. And I'm not... Listen, I say it, and I talk about it. It's not me trying to blow my own trumpet. I talk about all different things in my life, as many of you will know, the good and the bad, you know, the ups and the downs. One of the ups was when I was doing the, and this is mainly for this lady, you know, mainly for this lady to give her a wider context on, you know, who I am, I guess. When I was doing the True Binaural ASMR channel, this is right at the start of my journey in media on the internet and stuff, I guess, because I'd given up hairdressing and I was starting a new career path, life. I was taking some time out to make a fucking album, actually, of music, and my friend was doing filming stuff and I was helping him and stuff, and I decided to try and throw it all together because I was making these ASMR videos into this road trip documentary. So I made this documentary just for, like, crowdfunding it, put it on YouTube, to tell the story of the nascent ASMR community, you know, community. And again, with love, you know, this is not a hit piece. This is made with love, and there's a lot of love in it. So.
And they'd say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. So then I stopped talking about it. But then when I discovered it and it became a bigger thing because it had a name, I was telling everybody about it. And
so there's this documentary, and that took me on to working with my friend doing more things. So we have filmed together 2 more, one of which went on Netflix. You know, I'm very proud. Pride is not a virtue, but very lucky that it got onto Netflix. Matt, Tom, Jason, the other people that worked on it are very capable people, and with me on my own, it wouldn't be on Netflix, but with the whole team, wow, what a thing we did together. And I was lucky to be part of it. So I'm very grateful and lucky for that, and it's something that I can put on my CV. So when I encountered the armchair detective, I'm not in this to sort of like be the YouTube police and be the nasty man on YouTube. I watch Detractor content, I talk about Dark Side Phil, and the reason that we did and do, and the reason that I talk about these bad chuffers on the internet on my B-side channel, is because we have an ethical perspective, and we see people who are scamming, conning, and there's no people holding them to account, and we just get talking about it, and, you know, we like to have a chat. So it's all fun, and it's taken off a bit. And then with Alan, we have a specific dynamic where he directly stole from me and was rude to me, so I decided to take him down and smack his bum. It's only fair, to be fair, to critique me on my whole body of work there. And if you think that I'm just some sort of hate channel and hate campaigner, then that's very wrong. And the reason, you know, the motivation for my distaste for Alan is out of love and ethics. It's like you're confused about who's on which side here, I think.
His whole channel, no content.
No content.
No skills, pal.
No skills. I don't. You know, you can argue about skills. I'm not going to take personal insults and feel personally offended by them. I'm simply not. But I do have the ability to create quality media. It's there on the internet for you to enjoy and explore. And so that would cover the skills bit. And the content bit, again, like, you know, I don't have content, but I've got content for days. Like, I've been doing it for years. It's not all Alan. Like, that's just one channel. And the Alan channel, the view, this Battery Exhausted
to the best
channel,
of my knowledge,
Alan Vinicum
is not a paedophile.
When you go to the Battery Exhausted channel, it looks quite Alan-based, yeah, agree. But if you go to videos and you click oldest and work your way through them, you'll be on there a good long time before you find anything about Alan. Because, again, this is 8 years of worth of content. Vegan channel it was for a bit. I mean, it's my B-side. It's where I throw up content, where I make a video, and where am I going to put that? Where am I going to upload my pizza video, or my subscribers quiz, or my hip-hop track that I did? My hip-hop.
All your fears are baseless like glass bottoms. Smash racist faces with glass bottles. Heckles up, tits out like Brexit. I can't believe they don't get it.
You know, where am I going to put this? So I made a scrapbook channel. So when things took off with Super Chuffer, which they did take off with Super Chuffer after some hard work and push, things started to take off. And then this Alan man turned up and started to steal my content. I didn't want to tarnish my main channel and the good that I was doing with Alan and bitterness and pettiness. So I thought, well, that can go on my B-side channel, because that's my scrapbook B-side channel. And lo and behold, people like watching it. The reason they like it is because Alan is a narcissist and a grifter and a con man. And even if this lady hasn't perceived that yet and is confused about that, that's the truth. Okay, it's not just my truth, it's an objective truth at this point. So then we are taking up the mantle, this crusade, so to speak, I'm doing this a lot, of trying to take down the narcissist. And there's a load of people in our community, they've come to our community because they have had a narcissist in their life. A lot of them, like in the same way as with the ASMR, it attracted people who, because this is quiet, whispering, helps you to sleep. A lot of people who've suffered anxiety come to that community. And then I've got a video over here called In Response to Anxiety, and it was directing people to cognitive behavioural therapy and talking about a therapy journey. Because I was aware that this audience has that, then it starts to shape the content, because you start talking about those topics and responding to the audience, because you don't just say, well, fuck you if you're anxious, I don't care, I need money, I'm going to do this a lot and then get my money. No, you start to do mindfulness videos and explore the aspects of mindfulness that can help people with anxiety, and you start to tailor your content to the audience a little bit. Some of the time, as an artist, you also ignore the audience and do what you feel is important, but at the same time you take both into consideration, and the best pieces are where the audience feel involved and you've tailored something to them but have shown something of your heart and you're there together. So we've got that exists. Okay. In the same way, people who are coming to my content on Battery Exhausted and saying, yeah, I've been watching Alan for years, he's a really bad man, he blocked me on this, or he said this bad thing about this lady, or he stole this person's idea, or it's not, it's not just little things as well, it's creepy, weird things, like he locked some girls in a pub, or he searched for mother licks cunt off daughter's face, or I don't care, you want to write these things off, oh, it was just a little thing and men can do this, or whatever. Like, there's a whole list of things that, as I was talking about him with my problem with him, my direct problem, which my first problem with Alan, and the original video that I did, was it a video or a live stream about Alan, was Armchair Dick attacks Super Chuffer, because he attacked me publicly on his channel. I left him a comment to say, can you remove that bit of content? And he publicly attacked me on his channel. And then the next thing I did was a live stream where I analysed his behaviour and his content, and that was called... And this is me just meeting someone new on the internet who's been mean to me and stolen my content. So a dick in review, content thief and disgusting grifter. And that's it. We're on now about narcissists. The more I learn, the more I see, the worse it gets. Alan making up conspiracies, singing with kids, having a breakdown, the restaurant inspector. He requested everyone go and false mass report us. I did take a break from that to do a mental health episode on request. We do Alan Watch and React. He stole Eddie's content. This is like an ongoing soap opera of Alan's problems and what he's doing. And then loads of people are coming to watch it and enjoy it. And like I say, a lot of them don't like people like Alan, who are bullies and steal things and lie and cheat. And they recognise him for what he is. And they see the reflection in their own lives, whether they've had to deal with this narcissist as a parent or in a relationship. This is the archetype, because narcissists are archetypal characters. So Alan fits that archetype. And in that, in my opinion, I think this is why people like the content. You might have to tell me in chat if there's other reasons you like the content. I think some people have a laugh. Some people like watching it for the fun. I don't think we're a gang of bullies. I really don't think that. I think that's unfair. I think that what it is they're people that like to see a bully get their comeuppance. Like, that's Goliath. He had 80,000 subscribers. He took my video. I had 5,000 subscribers. He's on his YouTube channel with 80,000 subscribers, saying to people, who's this Super Chufferman, thinks he's something special because of his edit. Like, he only took that off Channel 4. Like, he's being mean to me. I'm David, he's Goliath. And I have to fight this online bully in the public court of public opinion online and defend myself against his attack. That's how it started. He attacked me after he stole my content. So I don't perceive it like we're a gang of bullies going after a sad old man. I perceive it in the way that Alan presented himself on the internet when I met him on the streets of YouTube as, he's the big one. He's the one with the attitude problem. Lots of people have already got problems with him. There's a list of problems of things he's done. and now it's me versus him. I don't have the same problems as Alan, a list of things I've done and all these problems and these other channels going on at me. I didn't have all that, but against me, because I've been on the internet a long time, but I haven't made lots of enemies. In fact, I've made friends. So there's a difference. It's only fair to be fair about this. I will agree that if you go to my channel today and you're that lady and you're motivated by your love of Armchair Detective, okay? And so therefore, the first time you see Super Chuffer, it's not through the Nicola Bully content, because you watched it on Alan's channel, you didn't realise he stole it off me. But it's not through that. The first time you meet Super Chuffer, is when he's doing these videos about Alan. Yeah? This stuff. So to you jump in at this point and you think, well, he's quite mean to Alan and he's doing a lot of content about him, because you haven't followed the whole story along, I guess, which is why I often encourage people to watch the full playlist. You know, we've got a full playlist, the saga, and it is quite burgeoning now. This playlist has 95 videos on it now, so I do concede that there is a lot of content about Alan. But Alan provides a lot of content. He provides a lot of talking points. It's a wonderful long saga. And if you're a content creator like I am, and you make a YouTube video about something, and you have the opportunity to make 2 follow-up YouTube videos, that's great, because it supplements the content. And if you have the opportunity to drag it out into a massive saga because the person you're talking about keeps making more new stuff for you to talk about, fine, it's more content. It's just a way of, like, you know, it's like saying, well, Coronation Street never finishes. Why don't you stop watching the football? Haven't you decided who won the football last year when they won the cup? So why don't you stop watching the football? People like the ongoing story. It's now part of my YouTube story for me and my content. I agree, though, with the critique that if you come from outside, you look at this and think Scott is an Alan Basher channel. So that's the naive approach. But then when you dig into it, that turns out to not be true. Great. And then the other thing is that I have the ability and the future chance. I haven't committed to being an Alan bashing channel. What I've actually said is that in the future with the other channels specifically, Super Chuffer is my main channel, I'd like to think, with more subscribers, more, I'd like to say better content. I mean, content's just objective, isn't it? But more serious content with the forensic psychology podcast with a forensic psychologist co-host. And Steve's had this really big back operation, and we've got a really, like, a potential future here where we can really work on something good. So it'd be naive of me to just say, right, I have to stress and worry about making sure this is maintained all the way up to Christmas and doing a new video on Nicola Bully every week to keep the audience. And like, that's Alan approach. I don't need to do that. I've got something good here. So what I'm going to do is be patient, and when Steve's back gets better, I'm going to continue uploading body language videos. And this lady would probably think differently of me if she realised that I was the one talking about Derek Johnson murdering his family. And Alan don't care about shit like that anymore, because he prefers talking about racism, you know? So, I don't know. Like, we're going to maintain that channel. It's going to go forward. I am not committed to being the Armchair Detective basher. So I appreciate where she's coming from, but I don't agree with it. And I think nor would she if she looked into it more deeply, I hope. Trish made an interesting comment here. To say I have no talent is short-sighted. You have many talents. I listen, improving the production of my content and tech stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm critical, aren't I? And that helps to help people improve content. But it does come across as critique. I understand that as well. You actually make people laugh. That's a good one. You need more people who are prepared to speak up and out. Yeah, I mean, I think she thinks that she's speaking up and out against a bad person here. So this is a funny, like, what's happened here, in my opinion, and she won't agree with me, but in my opinion is Alan has confused her, where she thinks she's on the side of the goodies, but actually she's on the side with the baddies, and Alan has painted the goodies to look like baddies. You know, it's like swapping around victims and offenders. It's what narcissists do. So unless I can break into her, you know, mind in some way, and it's not for me to do that. I'm not trying to break it, but unless she can understand this, she is lost to it. Right, can we please listen to it? Agreed, Andy. Agreed. I'm sorry. I do a lot of talking, don't I? I do a lot of talking. You are correct.
No talent, no contribution to the world.
When she said no contribution, I felt like she should watch the video that you Chuffers made. You know, where I did all the crying and you did all the video. Again, I'll blow my own trumpet a bit here, but if she wants to see that, I would. It's on both channels. It's on Battery Exhausted and Super Chuffer. Super Chuffer reacts to fan-made video. That kind of says it to me. You know, yeah, there's a bit of Alan in it while we take the piss out of him. But look, I'm playing Genshin Impact and chatting in some of it. And it's really just the emotional stories from the audience that made me cry. That, you know, apparently I do more than just bully Alan. And apparently there is something going on there. And I'm not claiming to be super talented here. Like, I don't play the guitar saying I'm like fucking Jimi Hendrix. I mess about. I'm not saying that I'm Stanley Kubrick making feature films. I mess about. So, like, I think it's okay. Like, I don't know if talent is necessary for me to be a good person.
Of all the campaigns and the people to campaign for, yeah, he's against one man.
No, I'm not against just one man. Look, what's all this stuff? I'm not just against one man. I'm not even against is a funny way to put it as well. It's not like me versus. I mean, me versus Alan was about me and Alan. He stole my content, and now he's saying things about me on the internet. I am going to fucking do him on YouTube. That is like, it's a me and Alan thing. It's like, it doesn't mean that I don't think about anything else in the rest of my life. You know what I mean? If a boxer has an upcoming fight with someone, they focus on it. But then when the fight's done, you can move on. Like, I think she's confused there. It really does seem like confusion to me, and I'm sorry if I keep labouring the point. Yes, we'll let her speak a bit more, because I'm trying really hard not to take things personally and then be personally reactive, because that wouldn't help solve anything, and that's why I said to everyone else, let's not do that. But yeah, let's listen to her a bit more. I need to, what if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, you know, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. So I must allow her doubts, and I must try and learn something about myself from them, and be accepting of the critique if it's valid. Not just say, no, you're wrong, I can prove it. Like, that's not how we get along here, I don't think.
Yeah. His whole channel, no content, no skills apparently, no talent, no contribution to the world. Of all the campaigns and the people to campaign for, yeah, he's against one man. Sorry,
I do have to pick this point up as well. Because of me doing the videos about Alan, people have been giving me tippies, right? It's a simple thing. I'm not going to analyse it too much deeper than that. Because I've been getting tippies, I've been able to give more money to charity than I have done in previous years. When I worked as a hairdresser, I was able to do the most amount for charity, because I had the most amount of cash through my hands, and I had the opportunity to take my team and go to charity events and just supply them with, like, you know, whatever help we can supply and do hair and stuff. You know, charity catwalk promotion things. Yeah, so I was able to help charity then. But now, as a content creator on the internet, this year has been my most, I've been able to give the most this year. And we're back. Sorry, we're on Twitch. Yeah, we're on Twitch. You all know it keeps doing it on Twitch. I know today what it was the stream key changed. I had to re-enter the stream key, which is weird. Yeah, so I'll reiterate the point in case it got cut off, and then we will listen to her talk. But I've got to let it to it. But there's so many points to analyse, and you know what I'm like. But she said that
channel, no content. No skills, apparently, no talent, no contribution.
No contribution. And my point was that over the last few years, you know, I found during COVID, I found things pretty difficult. But recently, because of tippies, and I'm not going to overthink it, people give me tippies because we do the Alan Show, and we're doing the Alan Show, and it's fun, and people give me tippies, and then I'm able to give a contribution to charity. Like, I've been able to contribute to society 10 times more in the last year through the Alan content, through the learning we've done. You know, I had Steve on to talk about narcissism, through the learning we've done, and then I've contributed by putting it out there as value. Like, there's value in the content. That's why we do the content we do. And then I was able to take the money that I was given, save it up so we can create more content. But ultimately, I'm able to contribute to society because not only do I give tax, but I give to charity. And I'm not trying to, you know, toot virtue signal, but I was just quickly saying, when I was a hairdresser, I was able to do stuff for charity because I ran a business, I had money coming through my hands, and I had a team of people that we could take to events. So I used to do that. And then now, for the last few years, as a carer for my nan, I didn't do much for charity. But now, as a streamer, the last year, I've been able to contribute to charity more than I have done in the 5 years previous, probably put together. So I'm really, really grateful. So I would argue that I do contribute, and it's through our streams that we bring together this community of people who want to help take down a narcissist, fight for good, and have good hearts. And that's what detracting is, in my opinion. Detractor communities, in the main, see the bad in people and think this shouldn't stand, it's an injustice, and they want to see the good guys win out, and so they get behind the underdogs. I think that's what detracting's about. It's about calling people to account in public. And of course Putin's bad, and of course, you know, bad criminals are bad, but there's the international police, and there's the police, and there's the armies. The people are working on that, but when people are on the internet grifting off old ladies, they kind of get away with it unless people like us speak up. So yeah, overall contribution equals I've contributed, and I feel that through the generosity of the support of the people that are members and buying the mug and tipping and all that, that helps me to contribute much, much more, and it will do in the future. So I won't accept that critique. But
I actually thought he was quite an interesting guy. Battery exhausted. Yeah. His whole channel, no content, no skills apparently, no talent, no contribution to the world. Of all the campaigns and the people to campaign for, yeah, he's against one man who's a retired elderly man, really. He's the loveliest guy ever. He's come off YouTube. The abuse is horrific. For somebody who's got it into his head that his whole purpose...
Andy won't let me stop it. I've got to stop it. She said she was a lovely man.
...is to target one man. Malicious. Sad. It's an illness.
Right, so can we go back to the bit where she's... you've heard a bit of it now. You like wanting to watch it so you can hear it, but I want to stop it and talk, don't I? Like, listen.
Painful, yeah. He's against one man.
I'm not against one man. I'm against principle. Like the principle of what Alan's doing and who he is and represents. So I'm not just against that one man. There are other things in life that are worth fighting for and against. But this is my personal battle against Alan played out on the internet for content and laughs. Yes, agree. That's what that sort of season of content has been about. Agree. But I don't agree that I am against one man.
One man who's a retired elderly man.
A retired elderly man. Agreed, he is, yeah. But that, what does that mean? Jimmy Savile retired, didn't he? Like, Jimmy Savile was elderly. No, what, so?
Really? He's the loveliest guy ever.
He's the loveliest guy ever. No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not. People used to say nice things about Jimmy Savile as well. And I know she's going to say, oh, you just could Jimmy Savile. But this, do you know what? This is something that, because I've talked about these sort of things with my family. I'll tell you what, because, like, fucking there's been some weirdness behind the scenes with some of these nutters. Like, you know, you obviously all know that someone doxed my dad. So I had to talk about things with him, didn't I? And, like, my mom is a very caring and compassionate person, to a fault almost. Tell you a story about my mom, right? We were in the hospital with my nan a few years back, and like we were going to visit her every day, and like my mom would drive like an hour to the hospital every day to sit there with my nan, you know, and be there with her. And we would go there less often, obviously, because we're, you know, younger. But we're going to the hospital to visit nan with mom, and we're in the hospital, and there's this other lady like 3 beds down, and she's pretty frail and pretty elderly, and things are not going well for her in the hospital, you know. And the trolleys come around, they do the food, and like mom does everything with nan, and like, you know, we're there, and then my mom just gets up and she just goes over to this other woman, and she's just like 2 beds down, and she's just feeding this woman and like talking to her. And like we said to nan, like, does she know her? And like, what's going on? And she said, no, but that woman's going to die. That woman's really poorly. And so mom just took the extra time to just go and, you know, be with her. I know it's a silly little thing, and most of us would do that. But, you know, I just got to see my mom there in the hospital just being like this wonderful, kind person. So, you know, I love my mom. I love kindness, of course. I don't see Alan as a lovely, wonderful, kind person who would do something like that. I see it as quite the opposite. He would steal the food because, you know, fuck them. They can't complain. Alan's a nasty man. And the kindness that's exhibited by my mother is the same kindness that I saw in Tosha when she was saying, look, you know, let's give, like Tasha offered kindness and was given in return by Alan. What the narcissist will do is to use your kindness as a weapon, like as a weakness, to see it as a weakness. But I'm still going to be kind in public, because even if you weaponize it, I'm still kind and good. It's like the Jesus thing, turn the other cheek. But that's nice, but that doesn't win me the war on YouTube. So I couldn't do that. Like, I couldn't just like rise above it and turn the other cheek and let him go ahead and just carry on. I resolved not to do that. I resolved not to get punched on any more cheeks, to do the punching and the slapping metaphorically on YouTube. So that's my choice. Alan is not a kind person. I was going back to this. Talking to my mom. So my mom said to me, "Look, should you just leave him alone now? He's an old man, and you've met. You know, he's probably feeling very bad and very sad, and he's an old. You know, you should." My mom pities him in this way and says, "Just leave him alone." And I'm like, "No, Mom, you don't get it. Like, he's showing you this act so that you feel pity, because he can elicit pity out of people, and then." He uses it. Alan doesn't feel like the pity party before he left to go to Malta. He wasn't feeling sad because he needed to pay his rent. That was all a lie and an act. He wanted money to go to Malta, so he laid on the pity thick. Like, it's sometimes he feels sad, and the minute he sees somebody respond to it, he turns up and he acts it and he uses it. It's an emotional tool for Alan. So your pity and your kindness is exactly why you're in this situation. And it's not because you're a bad person for being kind and for showing pity, but yeah, all right, I'm talking a lot, but it's important because I'm talking sort of to her, I guess. You know, I think this is part of the core problem, or the important point, is that Alan is using your kindness against you, and you don't see it, and in some way you see me as being unkind, I guess. Yeah.
It's come off YouTube. The abuse is horrific.
But listen, I will agree. I am being unkind because I'm attacking a narcissist on their level. Like, Alan would do it 10 times worse if he could. He tried, but there's nothing on me to give that horror back to him. But anything I find horrible, I will state very clearly how horrible it is. And Alan's got that there in his record. Go on then. For everyone at home, I'll let it play for another minute and then I'll drag it back and bit by bit it. But
for somebody's got it into his head that his whole purpose is to target one man. Malicious. Sad. It's an illness. When something consumes you for too much of your day, you're ill. Okay? Nothing is worth consuming your existence. Your whole existence.
I've got to pause that because that's a point, yeah. It doesn't consume me in my whole existence. For the time that I sit here and look into the screen and look at Alan and talk about it, it's on my mind because I'm doing it. After I finish this, I literally don't think about it. I've got a YouTube record of what I watch to prove it. When I finish my stream, I put on other stuff and I make food. I talk to my family. In the daytime, I walk my dog. I'm very lucky that I can spend some time doing a bit of research, looking at different things, walking the dog. You know, I am itchy. Gandalf, you could understand why. Like, she's going to jump from point to point very quickly, so it's hard for me to hear it and just let it slide by, because this is how brainwashing works on the Alan side, is he'll make a lot of points and they slide by before you have a chance to really ingest them. So yeah, it's strange because not only can you not see me in my personal day-to-day life to make this assumption, you can see a huge catalogue of my other work. Like, in the last, say, 10 years making content, or it's been 9 years on YouTube, I've been to America, I've been to Sweden, making content, like making proper film content, like just for my own personal joy. I've been to Prague with my friends. I've had weddings, funerals, like, you know, my life has been taking place behind the scenes that happens. Like, it's very strange for her to assume, like, get up, think about Alan, talk about Alan, get on Discord, talk to Martin Dean about Alan, then do the show about Alan, and later on I'll watch Alan's old videos, and then I'll go to sleep in my black bed with my black curtains and my black walls with my Alan glasses on. Like, it's very strange to think that. But also, I don't know how to explain this, but I am a content creator, and we are doing a sort of supportive content thing. You know, if I do one stream about one thing and then the next day it's about something else, YouTube doesn't get that. It's weird. There's some consistency in our work here, so I do understand that she might see that as a sort of obsession, but it's not. So there you go. And we can only argue about that, but what can I do? Like, you know? Yeah, meow. 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 I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll play it back from the start so you can get that first 30 seconds in, so you can all be happy that you've heard loads of it all at once now.
Right, I'm going to make a serious, quick little video. Hardly use YouTube for my music or anything. I've only got a few subscribers. But I'm going to start posting this video in various sites on the World Wide Web. It's only one that I've ever noticed like this in the true crime community.
I'm just going to pause quickly, actually. I'm doing this deliberately to fuck you about, to piss you off. But actually, I would like to ask her, because I got this, I have this vibe, you know, I have a vibe check with people, I guess. And you might say I'm wrong for this, you know, to personally judge people based on a vibe check. But I've worked with a lot of people and, you know, met a lot of people. And sometimes, you know, vibe is right and vibe just isn't. I'm undecided here. However, what I would say is I think she loves animals and cares about animals and has in some way fought on the behalf of animals or rescued animals or something like that in her life. That's just an intuition I get. You could call it a tarot thing or a, you know, whatever. It's just an intuition I get. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, she can tell me I'm wrong. I don't know anything about her. This is just the video. I saw it today as I searched Alan before today's stream. You think her vibe is toxic? It may well be so. But concerning this topic, with this light on her face, you know, talking about this, it might feel like that. But I feel that she's in some sort of state of confusion about this topic. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt there and to say that she could, you know, untangle from that. But if it's true, let me just say this about the animals thing, right? I've rescued a dog. You know, I've had him rescued. It's a documented thing that happened through my content as well. Like, you know, he's in the content from time to time. I've had animals around me all my life. I have, sponsored at the dog rescue. You know, I've got, I'm a vegan. Sorry, I should fly that flag a bit higher. The reason I'm a vegan is because I don't want to kill, murder and eat animals. So has Alan ever done anything like that? I mean, he took Winston to the park. He picked Winston up and showed you Winston for tippies. But has Alan ever done anything for anyone but himself, this lovely man? I just wanted to throw that out there. Specifically, I know that this video is going to reach her and she's going to see it and have her feelings. And I just wanted to ask that, I guess. Like,
Never met anybody.
and again, you're allowed to have your opinions in chat and people will on the video as this gets premiered. But I will reiterate, we are not having a personal, I don't like your hair, I don't like the way you talk, you look funny to me, I get a bad vibe, therefore bad, rah, fuck you. When I was saying about vibe check, I don't like, we're not a bullying channel. We're not bullies. What we are is holding someone to account for their foolishness. And with Alan specifically, everything that we've done, me, Sinky, Regardation Police, like Jamie to an extent, although Alan doesn't really sing those songs, but he wishes he could. But everything that we've done is Alan's own words shown back at him, reflected back at him. It's Alan's own behaviour reflected back at him. Regardation Police obviously creatively edits it, but it's Alan's own words and it's Alan's own content and subject matter thrown back at him. So we're not just here to sort of like pick on someone on the internet, and we haven't just picked out someone to pick on. They've picked on everyone else and made enemies of everyone, and now they're getting it back
To the world. Of all the campaigns and the people to campaign for, yeah, he's against one man. One man who's a retired elderly man, really. He's the loveliest guy ever.
What?
He's come off YouTube. The abuse is horrific.
He's not come off
For
YouTube,
somebody's got it into
he's been thrown off YouTube.
his head that his whole purpose is to target one man. Malicious. Sad. It's an illness.
Okay, it's not malicious to like an evil extent, but it is deliberate and targeted. I don't know about sad. That's completely subjective. Although I do find it funny because at a family event recently, I said to I've been making media, you know, we talk about it sometimes, and they said, so what are you up to? And I said, oh, I've been bullying an old man on the internet for cash. And that's a Matt Bell joke that I stole from him, because that's what he said to me. But it's just, yeah, like, I can understand that. Listen, I can understand that. If you just come into my stream one day and I'm just doing my thing about Alan, you think, who's this? Who's Alan? Why is this? You know, if that's what, but she hasn't. She's got this preloaded, you know, she's been in it for time and, you know, she's an Alan supporter. So, but.
When something consumes you for too much of your day, you're ill. Okay?
I'm not ill. I'm not mentally ill. I've weaned myself right off antidepressants that I used because things were really tough, because we had tough times. Like, I was already a sort of depressive person in my life. I'd already been through tough times, and I just, gone through the struggles. But more recently, the antidepressants, they're called metazapine, and if you know anything about it, you'll know that I wasn't like flying off the handle and crashing my car into the wall in an effort to. No, I was just feeling down, and the doctor recommended it, and it was a good thing, and it helped me through difficult times. I cared for my nan. She died. Like, life was tough, and then I've weaned myself off them, and I feel really positive and looking forward to the future. It's been a time of reflection and recuperation at times, but everything's good. I'm not mentally losing it, and because of that experience that I've had, I've been able to talk about mental health in a real and frank way online, create an entire channel out of it, a catalogue of work that can help other people. And anytime anyone comes to us or our Discord and has struggles, we can be reflective and help them recuperate together, because we've been through that, and we can honestly say that it's not a negative and something that is a stigma or something that holds me back. It's something that helped me to gain a greater perspective on humanity, people, and that binds us together, because we all have sad times, we all find things tough, and it helps us all to show that people can go through it and come through it. So it makes us stronger, if anything.
Nothing is worth consuming your existence, your whole existence, your whole content and talent. What a sad world. I can't believe it. And obviously he's gathering followers of similar types that just pick on one man.
So this is you now. This is you. You're the followers of a similar type. Agree. I'm gathering followers of a similar type. Everything I just said a second ago about mental health, agree. That's good. We're good people. We're the goodies. We're the people who don't like the bully. We don't like the narcissist. We don't like the online grift. We don't like the manipulation of the ladies, the specific target audience of Alan. We don't like the constant talking about the dead children for money. We don't like the sort of, what we don't like. We've made a big list. Yeah, we're the goodies. And we are gathering that group. And that is interesting and good.
One, I've watched it for years. This man, I've been watching him for years. The lovely armchair detective. Okay?
At this point, she's a troll. She's a joke. Isn't she? She's not. This is just for a joke, isn't it? At this point, when I saw that, I thought, am I just reacting to Ali G here? She got me. She's got me, hasn't she? I'm doing a serious react to this, and she's got me.
One, I've watched it for years. This man, I've been watching him for years. The lovely armchair detective. Okay? Alan. Beautiful soul. I know, I've watched him for years and I've seen a lot of channels. Okay? Unbelievable. Battery exhausted. Disgrace. I tell you what, it's gonna turn back on ya. Karma's coming at ya. Alright?
It fucking came at me then like a ray, didn't it? Come at me like a laser beam from the eyes, Karma did. Karma came at me then, hang on.
Back on ya.
It's coming at you like a ray, like a rocket, like a jet, coming at you like a force, like gravity. Sorry, I can't. I have to. I'm not trying to pick on her, but it's coming at you, like Mum Ra's. Mum Ra, it's coming at you. Karma is a Buddhist concept that you earn points, like tiger tokens, when you're alive. And you would think that you get those points from going around being good and doing nice things. And it's not like that. It's that if you sit there and go, look, Andrew Starr's a wolf. I've told you we're not allowed to be mean to her direct. She's confused. Okay, let's give her some space first before we say mean things. I'm doing it. No, I'm doing it about the editing effect. Oh, come off it. I'm not allowed to. I'm allowed to do it about the editing effect. Look at it. The editing effect. And I'm talking about karma. Like the concept of karma coming at me. Karma's not going to attack me like a wolf in the night. Like karma isn't, sent to send a gang of youths to accost me on the street and rob my mobile. Like that's not how it works. Like karma's not like a psychic force that's going to come out of your eyes and laser beam me. Karma is, like I said, it's the Buddhist concept, and so you earn this over your life, and you'd be surprised that you would think that by being good and going and doing good things and charity gets you there, and it kind of might, but actually the Buddhists sort of believe that you're looking for enlightenment, so you want to sit down and just do the fuck all mainly, and go, or like, you know, I mean, I'm dissing the Muslims, the Buddhists there a bit, aren't I? But you know, there is a lot of good things to come out of Buddhism and Zen, and there's a lot of good things out in there. But yeah, you basically get up the mountain, you know, you get your cloth clothes, you have your little bowl and your cup, you don't do much talking, and you chill out. And then when you die, you sort of attain enlightenment, and you sort of ascend to the next phase, because you're at the top at the moment, you're a human being, so the next one up is better, and then you get enlightened, and karma passes you on to that next phase. But if you didn't make it, if you weren't good enough, if you didn't hack it, you dropped out and you just went down playing pinball on the beach and drinking soda, then you might drop down a level, and then you might not be as enlightened as you were before, and you might end up as like a cricket or like a frog, like, you know, reincarnation. So that's karma. So I'm not worried if karma's going to come and get me, but if karma did exist in this sort of transcendental force, I am the karma come to Alan for all his ills, aren't I? Like, so how can I receive karma upon me? Karma must be like really busy trying to work out all the checks and balances, because a lot of people think that I am Alan's karma.
Karma's coming at ya.
It's coming at ya.
Right.
I mean, sorry, but in the Mighty Boosh, you do know about it from the Mighty Boosh, don't you? Am I like Mighty Boosh coming at you? Look, it's a meme.
Take your first step in...
Shut up, you adverts. I really, really have to pull my arse in gear and get the fucking thing for the adverts to go away, don't I? Swimming, though. Swimming looks nice. It's for banks, so it's got nothing to do with swimming. Banks. Fuck them. We bailed them out in the credit crunch, and then we couldn't bail us out in the COVID. Anyway.
My name's Howard Moon. This is my apprentice of Vince Noir.
This will get me copyright.
Get stuffed, you're my apprentice.
Don't start showing out.
Or what?
Or I'll come at you fast like a northern bullet. I'll put a move on you, you won't know what's happening.
You haven't got any moves. I've felt your moves. How flimsy are they? They're like being caressed with a natural yoghurt.
I've got new, powerful moves now, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What, did you send off for some new ones?
Yes, I did. They arrived this morning.
First post?
First post, yeah. The post that hurts the most.
Come on, then.
Yeah, I'm going to put a move on you.
Bring
Going to put a move on you, coming at you like a ray.
Do you want to feel something? I'll
Yeah.
take you out for a meal with Mr. and Mrs. Payne. Order up some violent quiche.
Order up some violent quiche. This is where it's from. I'm coming at you. I'll put a move on you. I'm coming at you like a ray, like a rocket, like a guided supersonic. I'm coming at you. That's where it comes from. They do it as a running joke in the Mighty Boosh, so you know, don't tell me off. I couldn't hear that and see the alien eyes and the mad face coming at me without falling back on the Boosh. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I mean, I didn't do it.
Grace.
I'm a
I tell you what.
I'm a disgrace.
It's gonna turn back on ya. Karma's coming at ya. Alright? What's good for the goose and all that is good for the gander.
All right, we're not married.
All you've ever done is hatred, slander, bullying, targeting, inciting hatred.
No.
That's your legacy.
No. That's not all I've done. No, listen, there's no slander. It's all factual. A lot of it is watching back what he says and then critiquing it. Bullying is vague, isn't it? I mean, you could argue, but I don't think it is. The difference is that I've never sent Alan a personal message. I've never sent... I mean, I do my shows and I say personal things about him, but I've never sent him like a DM or a tweet or an email or... You know, I'm not directly contacting Alan to harass him. And although I do have the ability to publish details more personal than are published, I don't. And as much as I could say, let's all go down to Exmouth and do X, Y, Z, I don't. In the vast majority, I mean, there have been a couple of cases where, for laughs, like, you know, I've said, would it be funny if we went to the airport when he came back off the plane? But we didn't, did we? And then there's the actual factual fact of me saying that people in Malta should understand what he's like. And that's true. So, like, using social media to promote the ideas when they are protective of children is quite good. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I think it's a bit weird to sort of say that all I do is bullying, slandering. It feels like you're just saying what Alan says, really, and like you'd want to show some better examples of it, of like just pure bullying and slander. Like, I think if you watch the content on the whole, you see that it's not that.
Slander. All you've ever done is hatred, slander, bullying, targeting, inciting hatred. That's your legacy.
It's not my legacy. I don't know if when I'm dead they're going to, create a legacy page on YouTube that's going to be like Scott and his legacy. What legacy? I don't have a legacy. I'm not like a royal or a boxing champion. I'm not the heavyweight champion of the world. I don't have to fight Usyk and Joshua to confirm my legacy. If I'm lucky, I might get to have some kids, and then they might say nice things about their dad, and then their kids might say nice things about their granddad, and then they might watch some of this. Some people in the future might every now and then hear one of my songs or see one of my things that I made. If I'm lucky, if I'm really lucky, the little team that we put together to go out and do some next level content, create something, maybe a 40-minute mini doc, maybe an hour-and-a-half documentary that does exist and stay. I've got 3 of those already, like I say, 3 documentaries I've been part of, 2 of which I made myself with like one other person, me and Matt made together, that they exist. Like, so my legacy would be all my YouTube content, I guess, my ASMR channel, the Super Chuffer channel. Yeah, Battery Exhausted is part of it. But it's a bit weird to be thinking in those terms.
That's it, is it? Is that all there is? Like, for generations to come, they'll look you up as a family member and go, who was this wacky guy? Oh, that's it, was it? Is that it? I bet your mum's so proud. Yeah?
She brought my mum into it. I'm not even gonna, I don't have to defend how my mum loves me. I think she's fine with that, and I think I'm fine with it. I think it's just like, what? So that'll ignore.
Bullying, targeting, inciting hatred. That's your legacy. That's it, is it?
I'm not going to let this push me off the pot either. Somebody saying that this is my legacy, therefore. Oh, God, she's right. Look, I'd better change what I'm doing because of my legacy. There are people who are saying, here and there, you are better than doing this Alan stuff. You should put your energy into other stuff. And we have got plans on doing other stuff as well. But it is my choice, and I am having fun. And I'm not going to let people tell me because they think it's wrong that it's wrong, because I've explained a lot today about why I have a different perspective. So,
is that all there is? Like, for generations to come, they'll look you up as a family member and go,
will they? Hopefully they'll have a big statue in the front garden. Or I'll be a brain on the jar. I don't know.
who was this wacky guy? Oh, that's it, was it? Is that it? I bet your mum's so proud. Yeah? No one's proud of that. That's your legacy.
Listen. Oh, I can't even tell the stories, really. No one's proud of it. My dad doesn't really understand me. He admits it, but he's proud of it. Even if he's like, he's got to the point now. We've had our arguments over the years. We have. I proved certain things to him through hard work and endeavour, in mainly hairdressing, not so much in roofing, although I did try, but mainly hairdressing. And now we're at a point where, he's kind of like, are you winning, son? Go on then, son, get at him. Pride, I suppose the reason I brought that up is because I don't really care if you're proud of me. I don't seek approval everywhere, do I? But as a son, my father's opinion of me cuts deep, doesn't it? So I'm lucky that at certain times in my life, he's taken the important moment to say, I'm proud of you. So I don't need to worry about what you think of who's proud of me.
All right, and you think this armchair detective's bad? Look in the mirror. Oh my God, and all anyone can see is your hatred spilling out. As I tell you what, when everything that falls out of your mouth is ugly, it don't look good.
It don't look good. So, of course, by reflecting back at me, what you're saying is the critique of me, We're talking about looking in the mirror. Okay, I've got a mirror over there. I can see myself on the telly screen. But it appears to me that you are now reflecting back this vitriol, this denigration, this negativity, and that by looking at me and doing it to me and saying, look at yourself in the mirror, it ain't good, I suppose my only response would be to reflect back to you, but I'm not going to reflect back to you the same angry emotion, because I'm not angry at you for being angry at me, for being angry at Alan, am I? Angry Alan. You know, Angry Alan's infection is not going to spread to me, so I'm okay. You seem a bit cross now. I've told everyone not to bully you and not to be mean to you. We can still move forward from this, but I do think that you yourself, I mean, it sounds horrible to just say, I know you are, but what am I? In response to a point, but you know, my point back here is literally just what you said to me, to you, maybe.
And sees your hatred spilling out, as I tell you what, when everything that falls out of your mouth is ugly, it don't look good. It's not a good look, you know. It's not very appealing to anyone decent.
Agree, actually. You know, when people just drop into a random Alan stream and I'm giving him a load of shit. Or today I watched back the stream that we recorded about the lady with the homeschool, and I get my egg on about the flat earth homeschool. So I do think that without, again, it's about the fullness of character. It's about, how do I explain this? On social media, you get to see a small part of who somebody is. Like for these two, you love Noel because he's funny and he looks sexy, and but you don't know Noel. He's a character that he's playing about himself, and then you do know him a bit more because you see him on the adverts and in the interviews. But you don't sit at his house when he's angry because he can't find the remote control. So like, you know, you see facets of people's personality on the media. In social media, you see lots of different facets of people's personality, more so on social media, and with me, more so. And hopefully, well, I believe that you can't keep a mask up, that I should just be myself, because if I tried to fake it, then I would, you know, the mask would slip. And that does mean that sometimes I'm a bit more eggy, and that maybe Holly Willoughby wouldn't go on telly and be eggy, because everyone would see her being eggy, and then they'd think she was an eggy. But sometimes she is eggy, but you don't see it. And so maybe agree, I'll take the criticism that, you know, you just jump into my stream and I'm being eggy about someone, and yeah, I probably look like an eggy chuffer, but that's not the fullness of my personality. And if you were to assume that my persona in the YouTube videos where I am critiquing online social content and behaviour from a group of people which I would consider to be nutters, whilst I try and keep it light and we have a laugh, like sometimes I'm eggy, but you would understand that that's not who I am all the time. And that when I'm like, you know, cooking my dinner or walking my dog, I'm not like walking the dog. Listen, I'm not. Do you want to come in? When I'm walking the dog, or even the best way to do that is, you know, the way we're doing this here on Twitch, or like, you know, I play games and I do other stuff. Like when I'm walking the dog, I'm not saying like, oh look, you've walked down the pavement funny there, dog. God, you're a bad chuffer, you silly dog. Like, I'm like, woohoo, have you seen that flower? What's that smellis? Is it smellis? Do you like smelling the flowers? You know, I'm having a nice time. So maybe it's just about understanding how much or how small amount of somebody's personality you see through the media that you see of them. And that's why I was really careful as well to say, let's not jump on this strange bandwagon of attacking this lady, because we don't know anything about her. I don't. I mean, some of you are looking at some of her TikToks maybe, but I don't know anything about her. So I'm just going to say at the moment, I will reserve judgment, because I know I'm being personally attacked. So I need to make sure that and I know that she said bad stuff about the community, but like, if I take that to heart and react to it immediately, then I'm on that level and I've lost everything that I need to be able to gain from this situation. So I need to be able to take a step back and say, yeah, okay, and I'm not eggy at you. I understand that you see me and you think I'm eggy a lot. Understood. And for the future, it's not a good look. Agreed. Like if you walk into a bar and there's some guy over by the bar and he's going, oh, fucking this and that, and I was having this fucking, and it's fucking eggy this, no, where's my fucking left shoe gone? And like, you know, he's having a eggy strop by the bar, and then there's another guy at the other end of the bar, and all the people around them are laughing. And they go, yeah, and then I said to the nun, well, you're not going to fit two of those in your pocket. And everyone laughs. You're going to go over to the people that are laughing and say, who's this nice chap that told the joke? They seem nice. You're not going to navigate towards the person that's throwing the strop by the end of the bar and say, oh, I wonder if I can get involved in their personal business. I hope to become part of their problematic life. Although there are people, I would counter this my own point, right? I know girls where, I'm talking from a boy who dates women, dates. I was reflecting on my younger years then, so I was thinking of girls, but I'm a grown up that dates women. But in that world, I've been with people who I would think, listen, I'm quite a nice chuffer, really. I'm not like mean and horrible and violent, but you seem to have decided that nasty rude boy, that rude one who throws all the eggy around and does all the violence, they're like some sexy bad boy, and you'd rather have that than nice cooked you dinner, like fluffed up your pillow Scotty Hottie. And I get it, you can't be a simp and you can't just be a ninny in a relationship all the time, but I also don't get that some women do love a bad boy, and I just can't fulfill that role on a day-to-day basis. With a bit of role play in the bedroom, I can do a bit of saucy bad boy, but I'm not going to fucking be mean to you in the supermarket. I'm just not going to. So it's a funny old world, isn't it? So maybe some people do navigate towards that fucker at the end of the bar throwing the strop. With this lady and Alan, maybe she does navigate towards the narcissist who requires this attention and affection and resource. Maybe there is some sort of symbiosis in their relationship that I don't understand fully. Someone accused me yesterday, it was Genetic Toad, wasn't it? She accused me of being symbiotic, having a symbiotic relationship with Alan. I don't think she understood what she meant, but symbiotic would mean that, we live off each other. And I can understand that as a critique, because he makes content, I make content about it, he can then make content about me. And I encourage the symbiosis by saying, let's do a stream together. I was quite overt about it. But in this background relationship between narcissist and resource, because she provides a resource for Alan, either financial or adoration, narcissistic. I wonder how much of her providing the resource makes her feel valid and special, and how much love bombing is required to captivate her attention, because that's part of the dynamic. So, well, Ganji Kid, Karen's right. Go to the comment I pinned on the. I don't know about the comment that's pinned on the board. Are you talking about me in chat here? Because I'm missing chat, aren't I, sometimes? Are you talking about me or Alan? A message pinned on my Discord. What? Okay, hang on. You're telling me you're the community. I will listen to you. And now look, where is it? What do you want me to do? Welcome and rules. Pinned. Oh, that's nice. Is it the top one that I'm looking at here? Karen says, Dear Mimps, a little thank you for our wonderful community here in Chuffertown. Thank you all for being there and being the lovely people you are. Thank you for the wonderful mods for not just doing the modding during streams, but keeping us all together here, arranging and supervising. You're all doing an outstanding job. Sorry I had to put forth the musketeer who looks different. Thank you, Scott, for making this possible and believing in us to get along well in your town. We're all from different backgrounds, different cultures, yet we manage what many a politician would like us to do, united us all. So yeah, it's a very nice positive comment. Thank you. Like, that's the sort of feedback that we got on that video that made me cry. Thank you. Like, that's the community. I'm not doing that, you're doing that, and I will agree with what you said there about the mods. Like, it's the mods who are doing that. Of course, I'm here doing the shows and talking and and all that, but I will again reflect that praise back and say thank you, Karen, and thank you, the mods. You deserve that praise back at yourself, because you're the ones that are doing that. Like, I'm rarely in the Discord, as you say, supervising. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's strange to me that whole thing should be misunderstood and misperceived by this lady. But you've got to understand as well that I'm always, I might be wrong for this. Okay, I might be wrong for this, but I'm always saying that people like this could end up being part of our community because they could have a wake-up revelation, step out from the cult, and then where do they go? Well, there's welcoming arms of a loving community that can help them through the next process of disengaging and, coming to terms with. If not, where else do they go? They just become enemies of, like, good people, and you don't want to be enemies of good people. So, but I might be wrong. Some people might say, no, Scott, you're wrong. She's beyond saving. She's a nasty, bitter person. She's as bad as Alan. and that's why she's with him. They deserve each other. So maybe I should be more hard-nosed about that, but then I wouldn't be the compassionate, kind person that I am. But then I did argue that compassionate and kindness can then be taken as a weakness by people who see it as a weakness and can be, preyed upon. And therefore, like Tosha, I would rather live in the world where, in some cases, I maintain the compassion and can be preyed upon. But once the preying upon starts happening, I'm strong enough to deal with it. Like similar in relationships, you've got to open yourself up to people to be hurt, haven't you? And then you get hurt, and then you don't want to open yourself up to people. But you have to be brave enough to keep doing it. So that's the case with our community and my perspective on things like this. But different to the way I perceived the battle with Alan, because I have no time for compassion for Alan. Like, there is not one. There's not 1 ounce of compassion in me for Alan, because I understand him as a narcissist, that there is not 1 ounce of contrition in him. For the compassion is waste. So there is the compassion, but I have to put it away and show this other thing to Alan. Yeah.
It's the most unsavoury way to behave. If you have a problem with someone, go to a court, get some facts, like actual criminal convictions.
I will remind you that the reason we're having this problem is because Alan went on his YouTube channel and talked about me in public.
Seen by a jury, the right to innocence, and defend yourself. You're destroying this gorgeous man.
Not gorgeous.
And this is me saying this. I haven't spoken to him about it. I can't bear to watch people picked on. I don't care. There's some wacky things on the internet. Right?
Listen, I agree, right? I've seen some videos recently of... I don't want to take this as an example because it makes me very sad, but there's a war going on in Palestine, and I've seen videos of prisoners of war being picked on and bullied by the people who are holding them captive. That's a war crime. Okay, and I'm not saying which side and pointing a finger. I'm just saying I've seen these videos. They make me very sad. I agree. And sometimes they're people who I would consider to be on the wrong side of the, like on both sides there, you could say, both teams have done bad things, so they deserve the bad things to happen to them. But, when they arrested Saddam Hussein, and they were all slapping him on the back of the head and whatever, and, just, there's an element of being a humanitarian and humanity that even to the serial killer and the mass murderer, even to the McCann parents, sorry, but even to certain people, you still extend a level of compassion. This is why we have, in the UK, we don't have the death penalty. It's why we have prisons where people, the guards don't stab you up, do they? Do you know what I mean? I forgot my point.
You have a problem with someone, go to a court, get some facts, like actual...
We are in the court of public opinion, and I do have some facts. I broadcast them all on YouTube. That's part of what we do, taking down Alan.
Actual criminal convictions, seen by a jury, the right to innocence, and defend yourself. You're destroying this gorgeous man.
He's not gorgeous.
And this is me saying this. I haven't spoken to him about it. I can't bear to watch people picked on.
He's destroying himself as well, isn't he? Because it's his own behaviour.
I don't care. There's some wacky things on the internet, right? Things worth fighting against. This isn't it.
Well, narcissism, abuse, and... again, I don't want to go through the full list, but the main things that people don't like about Alan is that he's probably dangerous, dirty, seedy sex predator behind the scenes, and that overtly he talks about dead children all the time and uses their memory for money in his campaigns just to be popular on YouTube talking about true crime. So he steals content off everyone else because he hasn't got anything really for himself to say, and he has a group of people that he basically uses to treat badly to get to make the content, and he grifts all that money off the people so he can go and put it into poker and gamble it, and he doesn't really need any of it. He's just a massive arsehole. I think it's all legit grievance. He is a bad chuffer on YouTube. He is one of them. And who am I? I'm not Batman. So what are you saying? I should go out in the streets and attack the rapists. I should be out on the fucking mean streets of Birmingham in the hoods, and when people get broke up because they have an argument with the local gang, I should swoop down from above and say, boom, I attacked the armchair detective on YouTube and got him banned. Here I am to solve your problem in the community. Drug dealers be gone. I will attack you with my powers. Like, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should just carry on making content that people enjoy, talking about narcissists and wrong-uns and chuffers and other stuff on the other channels too? Yeah, maybe that, actually. I'll just do what I like. How about that?
What a tosser.
Oops.
And a disappointment. I thought, oh, this guy seems really interesting. My sort of person, he seemed.
When? When did you meet me? On what video?
Everything else about him seems so cool. What's he going to go through when he works out that A, he was wrong, because I know he is. I know he is.
About what? About what?
And I've seen this escalate from nothing. Where's the proof?
Of what?
Where's the evidence? The receipts?
For what?
Yeah? Where's the judge and jury?
Of what?
Yeah?
You are the judge and jury, or the people. Like, in the world of YouTube and making videos and, you know, Alan talking about me and calling me son and stuff like that, and saying it's not your this and that, the people are the judge and jury in general, aren't they? And YouTube could be considered a judge and jury there, because they adjudicated him to be not acceptable against terms of service. That was a sort of judgment. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why we have a justice system.
So, what are you talking about? Is it specifically the noncing stuff? Is that it? So you're saying that if someone's not caught, then they're not guilty, just let it go. But Jimmy Savile didn't get caught.
I don't know if you've heard about a few people like you that are in prison now.
No.
For about 10 years. That's about the average now.
Now listen, this one does get to me. I know she's eggy, but this sort of arguing, I don't know if you've heard about a few people like you that are doing, about 10 years now. You know, that sort of petulance doesn't rub well with me. I think she's alluding to people that actually did proper malicious communications who are now in jail. But because we've not done malicious communications, and we have talked through this extensively, so I'm not going to go over it a lot, but, you know, that was part of the storyline, wasn't it, at one point, that I was going to prison and the police are coming for Val and malicious communications. And in the end, I recorded loads of clips of Alan doing malicious communications, because he did it a lot, and then I sent them to the police, and if anyone's had to talk to the police, it'll be Alan, because he did malicious communications. And did I? No. And are the police coming to my house? No. And have I talked to the police? Yes. And did I report Alan and the video with Smule and all of that? Yes. And do the police do their job well and catch every criminal and sort everything out? No. And like, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know. Big ups, Beth. This is Pure Mischief, who's got a message for me. So I'm telling everyone be real careful not to be mean to her, but at the end she's going a bit funny at the end. I think I've done quite a good job of like talking to her or about the topics and explaining why I don't think she's quite on the monis, but it's going a bit eggy at the end.
It's coming at you.
I'm coming at you
no
again.
One needs
it's
a
coming
few
at,
people.
It's coming at
Judge
you.
and jury. Yeah? Yeah, that's why we have a justice system. I don't know if you've heard about a few people like you that are in prison now for about 10 years. That's about the average now. Yeah, it's coming at you.
Big up to someone in chat said she's a method. I don't think we're fair to say that, but I don't know anything about her. So.
And no one needs to do a thing because everything turns around and the world keeps turning. Yeah?
No one needs to do a thing. No, we absolutely need to do things. If you don't do anything, then nothing happens.
Things move on. And you're still going to have this legacy.
Well, if I want, I can just delete all the videos off YouTube and then they're gone. And in about 6 months, no one will know who I was and what I said. A bit like Alan. But you know what I mean? Like, my legacy is not going to be this. And it's only a part of the story beat. So we've been through that. And I think she's confused about, you know, even if you wanted to make it into a big thing and keep it going, people, if I don't want to, I want to keep this on the internet. I enjoy it. But if you wanted the right to disappear, like people have that right under European law where you can have yourself effectively removed from the internet, like yourself. So the internet moves on, like you say, quite quick. And this thing is not that big. You know, it's not going to be that in 100 years they look back and tell the story of how Scott and the Armchair Detective. Like, it's not going to be that big. There's not even that many other people like Darkside Phil, Cyrax, Chris Chan, Cobes, the other lolcows. Like, there's a whole load of other people making videos about them, and if one community member decided to remove themselves from the community, then they wouldn't be any great loss. The whole thing would carry on, but people would still talk about them and sort of commemorate them and talk about them. They'd be there in the law, so to speak, law. They'd be there in the law. But with this, I don't think it has that same longevity. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, do I? It'd be funny if it did, wouldn't it? Oosh. So maybe, in years to come, they look back on this video and say how stupid I was because this becomes my legacy, but I don't know.
Of destroying one man? Wait till someone tries to destroy you. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. Well, Alan was my direct enemy. He made me into his enemy by being mean to me and stealing my content and being denigrating and rude to me on the internet. And then he kept plagiarising my content and Eddie's. So then I discovered he was lots of people's enemies. And I thought, well, fuck this. I'm his enemy. Yeah. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Well, Alan's just experienced it all. And we move on, as you say. I just feel like it's... what is this, a threat now? Because if it is a threat, then that's the exact malicious communications that you said I was doing against Alan, that the police are coming for. That's you doing it. That's a malicious communications threat. The police can now come for you. It's weird, isn't it? These statements.
And have this legacy of destroying one man. Wait till someone tries to destroy you. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
I think you can try and destroy me if you want, but it won't work because what have you got to say about me and what do people care? I mean, don't talk about the trolls, don't show them on your show. I'm doing it right now. I think it's an interesting conversation. Because with Alan, this is specifically about Alan. This is supportive content to Alan. She's a supportive person. I assume she gives Alan some money. If she's prepared to go to this end, I assume she gives him some money. If these sort of people can see the light and walk away from Alan, he is done. But this is the case in point. This is now where we go from learning. I've gone from learning about a narcissist in my pursuit of learning how to understand Alan and therefore combat him on the internet. Online videos, talking about topics. Because I hoped we would get him into a debate at one point, have him on a show and talk to him. I've gone from that, learning about narcissism. Now I've learned about denial. Now I'm seeing someone who I believe is very deeply in denial. And I need to know how to work out, I guess, how to reach this sort of person and help them through it. Because if not, it's going to be her and Alan making these sort of videos for a long time to come, isn't it? So, I don't know. Friends of JC, maybe. Maybe it's the JC angle. But she's very pointedly said that she thinks Alan's a wonderful man. That he's a lovely man. So, thank you for the tier sub. Debs is paying forward the gift they got from Red Fan to Jojo Cretin. Look at that. That's a lovely sentiment as well. Good on you, Twitch. And good on you, Debsy. Thank you, Debs. Thanks. Yeah, the psychology of the online attraction is an interesting topic. That is an interesting... I think there's narratives and stories that run through this, isn't there, that I'm learning about. So I guess I always say to myself that after this, and I've done it all, I could make a nice 30-minute video about this thing with all the points nailed in, and it would make quite good YouTube content. But maybe it's getting too big. But that's why we do this with Steve. If Steve... God bless him, and I keep talking about him because I'm looking forward to him coming back. If Steve was here this Monday, we could say, right, let's take this as a case in point and do a show on XYZ with someone more educated. And Steve doesn't have he's obviously on our team, so to speak. He doesn't like Dark Side Phil. We talk about that, but he's an independent thought. He gives me. I'd say reality check. He knows about psychology and forensic psychology and all sorts. So, big ups VJJ67. Good evening to you.
Even you.
Even you. And that was the last bit she said. So I'll play the last minute.
Defend yourself. You destroying this gorgeous man. And this is me saying this. I haven't spoke to you about it.
So, do you want me? Did I do an awfully bad job of pausing it too much? This is pure mischief. No, I don't know anything about her because I have not. I've saw the one video before I came on, literally before I came on stream. So now I'm just going to quickly look at a UK-based electronic dance producer and vocalist